So 2012 has finally come to an end, and as such, with it, a great year of films. This is my top 10 list for the films of 2012. Unfortunately, I did not see every film I wanted to see, like Silver Linings Playbook, but I will try to make this list to coincide with everything that I thought was a reasonably entertaining as well as compelling story of 2012. To kick off the list with number 10 is Killing Them Softly. Now, I may get some flack for this one, but I really enjoyed it. Killing Them Softly was definitely the sleeper hit of the year, but that's what it was supposed to be. The only reason why it got any attention at all is because Brad Pitt was in it. It was originally supposed to be an indie film. With a simple but compelling story, a powerful message behind the words, and a cast that played their characters to a T, Killing Them Softly was definitely a surprise for me in 2012. Very rarely do I see comedies in theaters, mainly because I don't think you get any bonuses from seeing a comedy in theaters besides wadheads who never shut up and people who just have really annoying laughs. I made an exception with Seven Psychopaths. When I saw In Bruges years ago, I really wanted to see the next film that Martin McDonagh would make. So, that's really why I saw it. With a great cast and some great writing, both funny and deep, Seven Psychopaths was a great watch despite the fact that the ads completely threw off the idea of there being seven psychopaths. I wouldn't say I'm a master of kung fu movies, but if those of you who think you are and you didn't see this movie, shame on you. The Raid was so flippin' intense, I swear I never moved from my seat the entire film, not even an inch. The brutality and action was amazing, and the fight choreography was mind-blowing with its speed and variety. One of the best fighting movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Now there are some people who are going to hate this movie because of its lack of realism, but all these are just petty excuses for what The Grey really is, an inward journey into the lives of doomed men. Liam Neeson starred in one of the biggest surprises of the year. Originally, I thought this was just going to be a straight-up action movie, but what I got was an intense poetic drama about the limits of survival. The characters were developed very nicely, and Liam Neeson wasn't a badass, he was just a regular guy. Also, the soundtrack was very well done, especially in the closing moments. We waited nearly 10 years for it, and now we are finally going back to Middle-earth. Number 6 is The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. With great performances from Martin Freeman and Ian McKellen, as well as the rest of the dwarf cast, the movie was really fun to watch. While the film, however, went a lot longer than it should have, it still was a great adventure, and the visuals alongside it were amazing. The anticipation for 2 and 3 are just killing me. While the found footage idea has definitely been sorely beaten to death, I thought that Chronicle was the last great outing of the genre. Sporting an awesome premise and some great characters, Chronicle didn't just show us how awesome it would be to have superpowers, but how damaging the responsibilities of such a great gift would be. With a great performance from all three leads, including Dane DeHaan, one that was so good he's already been in Lincoln and is going to be Harry Osborn in the next Spider-Man film, a great use of budget for the visual effects, I truly believe that Chronicle was the 5th best film of the year. Now, this movie was both horrifying and hilarious in an extremely funny and scary way. I am, of course, talking about Cabin in the Woods. The film that made fun of horror films, but not in a way that can be completely obvious to the audience like those scary movie disasters, while keeping a compelling as well as peculiar story going. This film was one of the most creative films I have seen in several years. The whole backstory just made me love this movie. Out of all the Bond films, I truly believe that Skyfall had the best story of any Bond by far. Not only was Skyfall a deeper look at the character of Bond, it also paid homage to the original films, and it felt like it kind of came full circle in the end. It has dabbed in the new and fast for long enough, and now it has returned to its roots. With great performances from Daniel Craig as Bond, Javier Bardem as a computer Joker terrorist, and a performance from Judi Dench that finally gives the M character a refreshing take, Skyfall was everything it was built up to be. To my friends who are watching this, you knew this was coming. Coming at number 2 is The Dark Knight Rises. This film was everything I wanted for the conclusion of Christopher Nolan's epic trilogy. Everything we had seen in the previous two films had been building up to this moment, the moment where Bruce Wayne had to make the choice to either give up the mantle or die defending it. Every time Tom Hardy entered the screen as Bane, he sent chills down my spine. Besides spouting many, many awesome quotes, he made Bane a realistic and threatening character. Also, despite the initial outcry at her casting, Anne Hathaway was a great choice for Selina Kyle. The film had great action sequences and set pieces and was just an awesome movie. However, with a few problems here and there, including a certain death of certain characters, I cannot give it the number one spot. However, it does have an actor from this film. My number one movie of 2012 was Looper, and whoa, what a movie! I couldn't believe how unique and intriguing the whole universe was. I was constantly transfixed on Joseph Gordon-Levitt's makeup and how much he looked like a younger Bruce Willis, kind of. And yeah, that guy was in this movie too, a JGL and Bruce Willis power train. Sure, the story had a few mehs here and there, but such is the case with all stories involving time travel. The concept of Looper was extremely refreshing, and the aspects of future and past colliding were incredible to watch unfold. Alongside a really surprising performance from Emily Blunt, and that little kid as well, the film was an intense ride from beginning to end, with an ending that kept me thinking for weeks. So those were the top 10 films for me for 2012. I know I didn't mention films like The Avengers and a few others, but those were honestly my favorite films of the year. Leave your comment down below if you agree with me or not. 2012 was an awesome year for film, and 2013 has a lot to live up to if it wants to come anywhere close to how awesome this year was. Thanks for watching, guys, and I can't wait to talk about films next year.